Mm. Hey, hello, hello. How are you? Listen, mwah, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. Thanks for coming back and spending some more time with me. I thought it was important that we continue this dialogue and just kind of pour into each other and keep it moving. So I came to you prior with physical self care. We're still talking about self care and the importance of making sure that you are taking care of self. Physical self care we talked about already. Emotional self care, we talked about that too. And intellectual self care, okay? That making sure that you are building properly and that you're taking care of yourself here as well. So, physical self care, emotional self care, and intellectual self care. Now, let's talk about professional self care. Something you probably haven't heard about and or have touched on before, but you do it every single day, or at least we try to. So now we're just gonna bring it all together. Okay. So professional self care is basically just getting good work life balance. Okay. Do you have good work life balance? Because I know that earlier in my career, I remember when my son was first born, that was the first time that I actually had to deal with work life balance because being a new mom and so forth, that was a challenge. He's 23 now, so obviously I have overcome those issues. But I'm just saying, that was my personal experience having to deal with maneuvering through work life balance. And so, some key ways to do that to make sure that you are safe and protected and that you are taking care of yourself with your self care, there are some key things that you need to do. So, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you work for yourself, whether you work part time, full time, whether you're salaried, whether you're on the brink of retirement, or whether or not you are at the very beginning of your career, getting out of school, or what have you, working for the very first time, whatever, okay? You want to practice professional self care. The first thing that you want to do with this type of self care is you want to make sure that you try to separate your business from your personal life if that's possible. If your business is your personal life, then you can't separate the two. But if you can, please do. And the reason is because you have to be able to pull away. You have to be able to have some separation. You have to be able to have a space and place that is safe with your friends and family. And then you have to be able to have a place that is safe for your on a professional level with your coworkers, your peers, and your employees and so forth, right? And the two don't necessarily always gel well together. So try to, the first step for my recommendation for you is to try to make sure that you can keep your work time separate from your personal time. Okay, it just kind of works out. It kind of makes life a little bit better. Okay. Second thing is you want to make sure in your professional life that you are you clarifying your goals? Do you really know your role and your responsibility in the job that you do? Do you really clearly have an understanding of the big picture of how your part in this business affects or infects the entire situation? How big or small is your role and how does it affect those around you? Okay? Because if you have a clarity on your goals and on your job itself, then it kind of helps you put things in perspective as to how you handle your day to day. Okay? And how you handle your time management, how you handle your priorities, how you handle your scheduling, how you handle your coaching with one another, how you handle every facet, of your day. And handling your day like that gives you good self care. Again, keeping you centered, keeping you whole, keeping you calm, keeping you still, right? Not frazzled and all over the place. So you can control the controllables, right? So control them, right? And so the controllables are you controlling your time management. You're in control of your time management. You're in control of your boundaries, right? You're in control of setting boundaries within your workspace. Boundaries for your coworkers, boundaries for your clients, boundaries for your employers, boundaries. You set the tone. You set the tone by your work ethics, okay? Your commitment, your consistency, all right? Your productivity. These are the things The things that you bring to the table on a day-to-day basis sets the tone for the boundaries that are set between you and the people with whom you work with and or work for, right? Okay. Also, don't be so prideful that you can't ask for help in your job. This is the key thing about job. When you get a job, you're new, right? You're training and you're learning. Honey, you should always be learning in your job. If you know every single thing there is to know about your job, you're in the wrong job. If you are the top expert in everything that goes on in that job, it's time for you to move on. Because, honey, if you're not growing, you're dying. Okay? And after a while, if you were in that kind of environment where you are the top notch of all and you know everything, eventually it will become boring to you, mundane, and unsatisfying. Productivity, shot. Interest, shot. Team player stuff, shot. Okay? So just keep those things in mind. You want to always be growing and always be developing. That's a part of that self-care, part of that intellectual care, spilling all in there. You want to constantly keep growing, right? Okay. Now, if you've done all these things and this job does just not make you happy, what you are doing for your career choice just is not satisfying you, it is your responsibility for your self-care to find another job, to find another path. Okay? Reverting back to the intellectual self-care, study something else. Learn another trade. Go back to school. Do an internship. Do something. Pursue your purpose. Go for what makes you happy. Learn, grow, develop, move on. Okay? And in doing all these things, you know what happens? You establish your worth because you should know your worth. If you know your worth, then this professional self-care is not going to be too hard because, see, you know what stuff you're working with, right? You know how valuable you are, right? You know what you bring to the table. Nobody else can bring it like you bring it. And so when you know your worth, boundaries are easy to set. Time management and your day-to-day is easy to do because you're working with the end in mind. Whatever that project may be, whatever that assignment may be, whatever that goal may be, whatever that promotion may be, whatever it is, you're working with the end in mind because you know your worth. And in knowing your worth, you become your own self-advocate. There's no one to be a better self-advocate for you than you, right? And so, because only you know what you need, only you know what you want, only you know what you can do, only you know what you got going on, only you know what you do when no one's watching, only you know what you do when you are putting forth more effort or less. Only you know, right? So, let your productivity, let your work speak for you. Let what you produce, let your fruit speak for you. What kind of fruit are you producing? Be known by the fruit you produce. Be known by what you produce. By how you come to the company, how you come to the business, how you come to the job, how you come to the assignment, how you come to the task. You come full blast at all times, giving 100%, showing them who you are and let them know that you have just stepped in and you are doing the darn thing because you have good professional self-care. Yes, that's who you are. And make no apologies for it because you're taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself by making sure that you have all these things in play, right? Trust and support are key for your self-care. And that is also in play in your professional setting. Make sure that you are trustworthy. Because if you are trustworthy, you'll have trust. You'll get trust. Make sure that you are supportive. Okay? Because when you need support, support will be there. You will get out of whatever job what you put into it. If you are consistent, you'll get consistency. If you are trustworthy, you will earn trust. If you are patient, people will be patient with you. If you are growing, people will want to develop you. And if these things aren't happening and you are putting forth 100%, you know your worth, you're doing your part in every way, you are water, you are fluid, you are doing it all, and it still doesn't work in your favor, and it still doesn't serve you, then you're just doing it in the wrong place. It's okay. Forgive yourself, forgive them. It's an experience. You're still winning because you learned from it. You're still ahead of the game because you got something from it. You learn what not to do. Ooh, okay? So take it, run with it, go back to your intelligence and your intellectual self-care, excuse me. Go back to your self-care for your intellectual level. Reevaluate your life and get it right. I'm excited. Look, I have to go and take care of my job now. On that note, let me go and do my 100% and be the best that I can be so that I can do what I have to do. Okay? So, my challenge to you is to get out and make today the best day possible. You go, you shine at work so that when you get home, you can relax, relate, and release. Okay? Self care, professional self care, as we're talking about today. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Stay blessed. Stay whole. Lots of love. Bye bye.